Alright, this is your typical air on board instructions. If you're going to look at this, I would go by this negative switched vehicles. This diagram makes a lot of sense for lighting. However, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for what we're going to do with the ABS hack. So just forget this for now and look at this diagram here. Now this diagram here I redrew, and if you're going to look at a relay diagram, it makes more sense to look at one that actually shows how the coil works. So you can see the coil here. When you give this positive power and a ground and current goes through it, it turns into an electromagnet. That pulls this switch down. So that actually mechanically pulls that switch down. It makes this connection from 30 to 87. So back to our switch over here. This is the same way air on board shows it. So that's why I drew it like that. So the red wire is going to go to ignition, or in this case, our 12-volt cigarette lighter. Our green, when you press the button in, this green is going to be connected with the red. So this green is going to get 12 volts. The blue, when the blue has 12 volts going to it, it lights up the ABS text. Now let me do a video overlay real quick. Let me show you the difference between the two LEDs that are internal to the air on board switch. One of them is the ABS symbol. One of them just says ABS off. So in this case, we want the ABS off to always be illuminated. And then when you press the switch, the ABS symbol comes on, confirming you press the switch. So back to this diagram here, the blue is just going to get 12 volts from a cigarette lighter or your running lights. But it doesn't hurt to have these on all the time. So, and then the ground is for that, or actually the ground's for the whole system. So that just goes to your chassis ground, or in this case our cigarette lighter. So again, you push the switch, the red has 12 volts on it, comes out to the green. Now you hook that to the relay. On this diagram I'm showing it going into 86, and then 85 has a ground. Those should be interchangeable unless your relay has a internal diode. You can also look up how to add a flyback diode. That's optional. That just reduces some switching noise. You don't really need that because the noise is just going to go back to this switch circuit, and it's not going to go over to this side, which is going into your powertrain module. So you don't have to really worry about that. Now, on the other side of this relay, we just took one of the inputs, or one of the other ends of the switch, and grounded it. So I did 30 there. And then 87 is going to the T-tap, which is tapped into your transfer indicator for diff lock, which is a blue with yellow tracer. So blue wire with yellow tracer. That's a connector that's under the driver's side footwell, which I'll show later in the video. So if you're doing this and just using relays, it's very easy. All you want to do is use the relay to ground this here. Alright, everything else works great, the lights work great, the switch fits really good, by the way. It's a really good switch. Now, I didn't have a relay on hand when I did this. I was doing this away from home, so I didn't have really any of my tools. So what I'm going to do is modify the air on board circuit to not use a relay.
instead I'm going to wire them here.